Over the weekend, we headed back into the cycle for its second closed beta playtest, and there's like a lot of good ideas in this game, but I think there's some key decisions that are stopping it from being the sort of game that I want to play. So in this video, I'm just going to talk about what those things are, what are the things that I think are wrong with the cycle. So for anyone who doesn't know, the cycle is a co-op PvPvE shooter. So that means you're up against AI characters, the PvE side of it, but you're also up against other players, so the PvP part of it. Tarkov style, you load up an inventory, you drop into a mission, and then you try to complete quests and like gather things while fighting the AI and other players as well. If you die on a mission, anything you brought with you is lost, other than the things that you paid to insure before you went out, or things that were in a special like small pocket you have in your inventory that you can use for key items. As you go on, you progress, you can craft better gear, you unlock better things to buy, you can also get upgrades for things like that pocket where you save stuff so you can keep more stuff even if you die. There's a whole progression thing with loads of quests that's pretty good. It plays really well, it plays great. The sci-fi setting's interesting, you're on this like alien planet that's beset by storms, and the hub area is a space station that floats above it that weirdly looks like it's designed to have loads of other players running around, but there aren't, you're just alone in there, which feels very strange. But the actual planet itself is really inventive. There's different biomes, there's like swamps and a beach area and some mines, there's all different sort of places on there. The movement feels really good too. So you do run out of stamina really quickly and you can clamber around, which is pretty cool, but climbing feels a little bit janky. Like it's a little bit like Call of Duty where it's hard to tell which rocks you can climb on and which ones you can't. And fall damage is extreme. You can just die outright from a drop that it looks like you'd be able to make in real life. But all of those things are kind of stuff that might be improved as time goes on, and there might even be items to help out with all of that stuff further down the line. Like, I haven't played a huge amount of this. We played about 2 or 3 hours of it while we were recording all this footage. Combat's pretty good. There's a huge variety of different weapons, and they genuinely feel different. So while there's a few different SMGs or assault rifles or sniper rifles or shotguns, each one of them kind of has its own quirks, and all of the basic ones feel more like the kind of normal guns you'd see in other games. And then as you get onto the rarer guns, they all have kind of different quirks to them that make them more interesting. You can also buy and craft and find attachments which change all of the characteristics, so it feels like there's a lot of depth to sort of building your gun up, which is kind of interesting. Like, that's a fun bit of the game, but unfortunately it's also where the problems begin. While you're on a mission, you can easily be taken out by a single sniper shot while you're running around with an SMG or something, and you'll lose absolutely everything you own. People can build their weapons to make them so powerful, they never actually need to risk anything to kill you. If they've got a powerful sniper rifle, they've got a decent scope on it, they can take you out without you ever being able to hear they're there. And as far as I know, and like I said, I might be missing something with this game, as far as I know, there isn't a way to tell other players are near you until they start shooting or something like that, until you hear them basically. So if they just wait until you're looting something or something like that, and then they snipe you with one headshot, you literally have no chance to counter that in any way. I guess you could think, okay, you're going to move around a map in a way that means that you're not going to be as obvious to snipers, but that's super difficult because there's loads of open areas and the quests make you go around to lots of different places. You could have teammates who are constantly watching out for snipers, but 95% of the time you're not going to see anybody there, so it will feel like a complete waste of time. Like, that'll get boring really quick. I think what happens is people build these sniper rifles, particularly with the idea of going into a mission to try and kill people, and then they just climb up on a hill somewhere near some sort of resource hotspot or a place where lots of people have to go for quests, or near an event, like sometimes a load of meteors fall and you can get some good resources from that, and then they'll just shoot people as soon as they go for them. And it's really hard to know what to do about that. I guess you could buy better armor, like helmets, and like you can get chest armor as well, so maybe you'd be able to survive those shots. But from what we've played, even the green armor is fairly rare to find, and it takes quite a lot to craft, and it costs quite a lot to buy. And again, if you get shot and killed, then you lose all of that stuff. I tend to find other players running around with the most basic armor, just with white armor, so it seems like not many people have any better armor than that. Again, this could just be because it's like an early game problem or something like that. You can also just be outmatched or outgunned very easily. Me and Name Gear came across 2 people running around in a lab, and they had no idea we were there, so we were just kind of high up waiting for them to come into a room, and we just mowed one of them down before they could possibly react. Like, they burst down in less than half a second, I think. And that cost them all of their loot in an instant, and then there was only one of them left on their team, so we could just chase that person down and kill them as well fairly easily. Obviously, all of this is has been a problem for like Escape from Tarkov and Hunt Showdown, and while I don't think the problem here is much worse than it is in other games, although the power imbalance between like a new character and someone who's kitted out feels like it's much greater than it is in something like Hunt Showdown, they definitely haven't fixed it in this game, and I think it's probably the biggest problem that this genre of games is going to face. And I really do hope that more people try this kind of genre and it keeps on growing, because there's something really interesting here. It's a really dramatic, exciting way to play this kind of game, but it feels so immensely frustrating that I think it's going to put a lot of people off. The biggest problem in this comes with how you then get back into a new game after you get killed, because in the cycle I think this is worse than it is in a lot of other games. In Hunt Showdown, if you get killed, you can create a new character and they start with okay gear, no problem. Like, they won't have the stuff you particularly found or wanted, and they won't have all the experience, but they're okay, you can make it through a mission. In Escape from Tarkov, similarly, you can create a scav who has kind of basic weapons and gear, enough for you to head back in and at least fight the AI and try and find some new things. In the cycle, you don't have that option of just making a new kitted out character. Instead, you've got to buy or craft new items, and the costs are pretty high. Like, you need a scanner, you need a backpack, you need armor, you need a gun, you need ammo. To kit out a character ready to go for another mission is fairly expensive, and then to get better stuff, to craft the better stuff, you're going to need to do stuff that's just incredibly boring. So going and mining for materials, or finding plants, or killing the AI creatures, none of that's very interesting. And you have to do quite a lot of that and find some quite like rare resources, as in rare-ish, as in you don't find them all the time, just to make like the second level of backpack. And bear in mind, while you're doing all of this, while you're going and crafting, your backpack has limited space, so it might get full, and then you've got to go evacuate at one of the 2 points, and there's a decent chance someone's going to kill you. There's not that many evacuation points, it makes a lot of noise when you evacuate, so you're always running the risk that even just when you're kind of farming stuff up to kit yourself out for another proper run, you might just get killed and lose even more stuff. And it sort of builds into this place where you're just getting more and more frustrated at the game. All of this isn't to say that Cycle's a bad game, it's just a very unforgiving one. When I lose my best set of gear to a random shot I couldn't have seen coming, it doesn't feel fun, it kind of feels unfair to me, and I'm not interested in grinding and farming just to recover what I've lost so I can play again and then risk losing it all in an instant again. The obvious answer to all of this is just to go player hunting, to load yourself up with some cheap stuff you don't care about, and then go lie in wait for other players and kill them for their hard-earned gear. But then you're just perpetuating the cycle. Oh, maybe that's why it's called that. Huh.